And we're back. Good stuff. Let me get in the voice channel. Hello.
Welcome back.
You've got ahead of me.
Yep. Only a bit. I've been doing the 3 parts of the quest that you're on.
Yeah.
I'm on the 3rd part. Anyway, did you see the reason I'm going to kill Koji Fox?
I did, yes. Good stuff.
This time.
Yeah, this yeah, it doesn't exactly narrow it down. Which fucking hunts were left to do?
I also wrote down a bunch of hunts that I will probably do.
I should write these down because I'm going to forget them. Clairview and Sanbreck. Those are Dalmechia. That one's Rosaria. Let's find Clairview and Sanbreck.
Down the rabbit hole. Okay. Thank you for that quest title. They're in the inn. I'm going to be right back. So.
Okie dokie, okie dokie. There's Clairview, okay. I have already forgotten which hunt this is.
First we find Isabel.
Hey doll! How are you doing? Let's see, just went to take a break.
You stupid bitches, you do that when I stand up. I had to put pants on because my room is well ventilated enough and my PS5 is not hot enough that I'm getting cold legs. Anyway, hi doll. I'll have to change again in a bit.
What the fuck is a mattock? Oh, it's a cup.
Yep.
Nice try.
No, don't fucking target that, you fucking idiot. First time I've locked onto the wrong thing all game.
Too slow.
Yeah.
God, the kills are so good.
Yep.
I'm so glad I was right that they'd be good. However, that was not what I was here to find.
Nope, sure wasn't.
Said it was... I would expect it to be this side of the area? Because it said it was coming from Caer Norvent.
Oh, are you looking for the dragon?
Maybe. It's one of the early hunts.
Oh, early hunt? Hmm?
There's an early hunt that was like, yeah, it's in Clairview. Oh, it's the Garuda, which I think I might have just seen.
Yeah. It's just kind of hanging out near a forest.
Here we go. Aruna.
You're gonna thrash it.
Yeah.
If that's what I think it is, this isn't gonna be easy. Nice try.
Good as it dodges through its attacks to replenish my. Ow. I didn't feel bracing to do that.
Nice try.
Anyway, I watched the last episode of Heavenly Delusion and I am still not entirely mind made up.
Well,
it feels like, I mean, it's very much like the manga's still ongoing, so we can't like end it. But we don't know if it's going to get another season. I would be open to the idea of it getting another season.
that's more positive than you were probably worried about being.
Yeah, for sure. It really, actually, like, really, it feels like it just needed. It needed this season. It needed the stuff that happened in last week's episode to happen an episode earlier, so that there was more time to kind of unpack it.
Oh, I will.
But there was a really like the kind of closing speech that a character gave was really good. Also, I tried to get my Norwestcon stuff in order, and I can't even get them to validate my email address at the moment. So
Oh boy.
I saw it with my own eyes.
I'll try again later.
Yeah.
Might just be the.
There are quite a few months left, but earlier the better.
Yeah. I actually need to once the marathon is over, I need to actually message my sister again and be like, hey, you know how I asked for advice on booking tickets to the US? Here are some actual specific questions I need answers to.
Mm-hmm.
My lord, my lady.
We received the dame's message. There have
I
been
like
sightings of
how
strange
Jill is
creatures
going
around
under
Stan.
an assumed name in this scene, so the name tag is Lady Jean ? Question mark.
Different. They've taken so many. I've lost count. Akashic, but different.
Ultimus thralls. And what of your mistress? Is she here?
Oh, no. She went to the garrison to ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Then we'll look for her there.
Okay. I like that the quest titled "Why We Fight" is the one coming from the sex workers. That's potentially promising.
Conrad's not the brightest candle in the crypt. I like that one.
That is good. I have gone the wrong way.
I also like how the cloud cover on the purple tinted sun keeps like changing in the cutscenes. So the cutscenes are more well lit, and also everything gets more intensely purple every once in a while.
Madame, please! Half the garrison's been slaughtered by those things. We lost the captain this very morning.
We've tried requesting reinforcements, but there's been no word from the capital or the Dominion in days. What more would you have us do?
I would have you do your duty.
Lord
Those
Underhill?
that
Are you
look to
kidding me?
for protection. And protect them I shall, because they are my charges, and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten,
I
the people
cannot
of this
believe.
town are your charges.
That's
But more
the.
than that, they are your people.
That's Frodo in the Lord of the
Your
Rings, right?
sisters,
Yes.
By
your
Underhill at one point.
brothers, your lovers.
Yeah,
So you have a
like
choice.
the
Lay down
Prancing
your
Pony,
sword and watch as they
like
are
the first time
slaughtered.
they get into
Yeah.
a pub
what is
outside of the
right.
Shire.
Yeah.
She speaks the truth, you know. This here, it's all we have. It's all that's left.
What we have left is our lives. Do you really want us to lose them as well?
Not if we don't have to. Look, there's a cask under the captain's bunk. Let's talk about this over a drink, eh?
I'm listening.
I'll have a word with him.
I realised that
Clive,
the only thing
I
I've
didn't
ever
expect
done
help to arrive so quickly.
kind of socially with this level
Thought
of
to take matters into
intensity
my own hands.
is
It was a
NaNoWriMo.
noble effort, but I thought you might still need
And,
some
like,
support.
Saying this is
I'd
as
like
fun as
you to
NaNoWriMo is
consider my
like,
needs.
very, very high watermark for me.
What we need to consider
I
is
like
where
this a
the
lot.
creatures came from.
I'm
The way
glad
the
I could
survivors
be
speak of them,
such a
one
high
would think
point.
They appeared out of thin air.
Something,
And perhaps they
something.
did.
Very interested in
It's
your
hard
high
to know what
points,
to
etc.,
believe
etc.,
these
etc.
days.
We'll talk to the survivors.
That was a stretch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still warming up.
That thing.
Did you see the creatures that attacked you?
Creatures? Yeah, they came out of nowhere. They went for Joseph first, then me, and then they were just gone.
Do you remember where you were?
On the road from Oriflamme. We just passed more when...
Yes, right in front of your coffee. What are you gonna do about it?
It's all right. Just rest now. It's all
No, we
right.
can't come between you and your coffee, so I'll just have to do it in front of you instead.
Still in the...
Mm-hmm.
You're a pikeman, yes? What happened?
I've got family in Moor. I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see if they were all right. And a pack of them glowing things found me in the meadow. I ran for my life. I never did get to the village.
Bandits are
Leave that
here,
to us.
right?
At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now.
Time to kill some bandits.
For more.
I wonder if the play out here is going to be because Ultima's doing all this to try to like break the bonds between people.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the payoff is going to be that actually like it has the opposite effect and everybody comes together,
Ready, go?
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we
It
ultimately
wouldn't
win.
surprise me.
Ha, ultimately,
Haha.
yeah.
Ha.
God, it's especially good the way that the cornfields have been changed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's wheat, isn't it? It's probably wheat. Like the windmills are still, and they've. I don't know if it's made a special effort or it's just the way the filter works, but like, you can barely tell that it's a crop now.
Yeah.
Clive, look.
I see them. With me.
Time to fight some bandits. There was a bandit made a snark about fucking women folk, and Jill's just like, I got that one.
Good.
Do you have the women folk, you dumb fuck? Get mega playered.
Ah, stop with the fucking protects.
Oh, that is good, actually.
What's that?
The fact the Mega Flare does damage to protect shields.
Nice. You're a lich. Oh. Start with the lich. Let's start with
Ooh, the Sultan is a ninja. Fucking poison it.
Okay. Good stuff.
Do you think there are more?
There are always more. But I'd say we've done what we can for the time being.
Then we should let Isabel know.
Come on, Sultan.
Does it clear your Mega Flare charge if you switch icons?
Nope.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
unexpectedly
You have
generous.
the town's thanks.
Don't thank us yet. There will be more. Many more. And you'll need to be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes, milady. The garrison will be ready.
Philippe here has convinced most of the men to remain at their posts. For now, at least.
Hearing that the Dane would look kindly on any man who committed himself to the task certainly didn't hurt. It's not the most selfless of motives, I'll admit. But whatever it takes, eh? Now me, I never needed convincing. I became a soldier to protect the people I love.
Making the decision to get rid of my iconic gap
The
closer
one standing before me.
for just do more damage all the time with more dodge is one I didn't do lightly, but damn, it's fun.
Now, if you don't mind, I have sentries to post. Milady.
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems. But it has solved one. And that's one fewer than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
Okay. There were several hunts in the desert.
Yep, I also have like 4 waiting for me.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Oh, and a renown level.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Here you are.
That one was 1,500 ability points.
Yep.
Gold accessory talisman of priming.
Ooh,
At 1360 renown.
that's a
Come again.
special,
I may have
unique
more
kind
for
of.
ya.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a yellow. Oh no, I think that might be keepsake. Okay, local map. Where's the cattery? That's the
Oh, so I
bed.
still haven't done Severian, actually.
Yeah, you should go do that.
That one wouldn't be too bad. Where's
Oh, there's
Sorrowwise?
so much shit over to the west or the east. I made a mistake that you would make. Alright.
Oh, the east-west.
Yep.
It's north of Sorrowwise, didn't you?
I'm gonna go explore the northern Valkyrie Desert just so I have it on my map.
North of Sorrowwise, okay.
I really want a red chocobo to be one of the hunts.
Yeah.
This would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mad dogs.
Down we go.
Let's go.
Oh, gonna get ambushed by thieves.
Here we go.
Mega flare into ignition, just blast through everything.
Nice.
My favorite part of Mega Flare is that if an enemy gets caught in a juggle and it's not a heavy enemy, it will almost certainly die. Because the Mega Flare just keeps hitting. Okay. Where's he?
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
This is a pretty sandy area. Oh, scorpions. Bloodfang. That's a pretty nasty wild neck name. Oh, that's a goo. Yellow jelly. What? That, ooh. That's a glowing stone. Was it? The end of. Oh! Oh wait! Are these the boss fights?
Oh, nice.
chronoliths are active to the Oread Stone, and that within them is hidden a virtual battlefield accessible by Clive and Clive alone. Each chronolith presents Clive with a time trial in which he must combat continuous rate of deadly enemies. And he must only defeat inabilities of a single icon.
Returns.
Huh.
Interesting. Within this ancient minute awaits a harrowing trial in which Clive must race to overcome a host of deadly foes wielding the blessing of but a single icon titan. I'm not going to do this. That explains. Okay. There's a chronolith here. That's the Hand of Hyperion, huh?
Huh.
Anyway, that's good to know.
Just the desert
That'll be fun to do.
and the fields of Carava. Look, what is it? Fields of Carava.
Heathcliff. Oh, there's a bunch of quests in Bakla that I didn't do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I know where the second one is. It's at the empty hovel.
Yeah.
Somehow there are no obelisks down there. I must have missed one. The other one's just up here somewhere.
Hybrid.
Good girl.
Do you know where the Black Boulder
That's what I'm
was?
looking for at the moment. It just says the Velcroy Desert.
Yeah, which is not terribly helpful.
Yeah. But also, if it's black, then it'll stand out a bit.
Yeah. There's a salamander there. I'm also not sure if that includes the southern Velcroy.
I'm assuming it's the area marked on the map as the Velcroy Desert and not... Oh, yeah, I see. Sorry, yeah, not the southern. I'm assuming it's the Velcroy Desert.
Yeah,
because it said it said it's been bothering merchants,
so it's probably on the path,
or at least not that far off it.
Yeah.
What's this? Is that just distance effect, or is something specifically blue over here?
I think it might be distance.
No, something is specifically blue.
Hmm.
Like, it's definitely more blue here than it was. But I think it's just because here the enemies are Akashic rather than...
holding back.
Oh yeah, that's the Ether Flood.
That's the one, yeah. Curl is taking pot shots at me.
As one does.
You take pot shots
I take
at
pot
me,
shots
do you?
at you.
Yeah, you do.
All the fucking time. Sometimes they even land.
Sometimes.
Oh, found another chronolith. Hand of Dione? Garuda, okay. Hyperion is probably Phoenix then. Or Ifrit.
Yeah.
What are you? You're a big boy. Let's take you down to size.
That's definitely something. No, that's a wyvern.
Company.
Wanders around the desert looking for a suspicious rock.
Okay. All that for a box. For just 15 spools of steel silk. Sure.
Can't all be winners.
Yeah. A random bloodfang just caught my scent. That's funny. Oh god, that's annoying. There's some path up there from over there. Okay. Hi, Ambrosia. Scarlet scorpions clicking their claws at me.
And if you got close clicking.
Yep.
Don't get surrounded.
Getting caught on the edge of his path.
It's over.
Scorpions.
Maybe I will just progress the plots.
Fuck
Come
off.
on. Fly,
Stupid
Ambrosia.
fucking salamander.
Scorpions.
Nearly 40k stagger damage on that one.
Jesus.
Phew. Okay, this is a one-way thing, I guess. Sure doesn't look climbable from this side. Which means I need to go
No need to
past
ride from
the
here.
hole. I'm just fucking around instead of doing
Sid,
plot Lamau.
your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried?
My potions.
You haven't been introduced.
Jill.
And then you go deal
Clive
with
has
that
told
ninja
me
who was
much
beating
about
my
you.
ass when I was 6 levels
All
slower.
lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalamil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago.
Any idea where they went?
The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic.
Summon bird.
Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about
Well, I'm
how
also
to solve
giving
Dalimil's
Pete
little
time to catch
problem.
up.
And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the
'Cause I did
bandits which prove to
take
be
the
our
lead.
undoing. It will be our own.
A little bit.
I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the desert hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
I would love an obelisk over here. That would be nice.
Suppose we just follow the shouting.
Yeah, they're a bit scarce in
Balmekia. Zukarava, Akashic Eagles. Look at these fields though, holy shit.
You wouldn't talk
cool
like
zone.
that if it had been your men whose
Oh,
throats
dang.
were slit. Blood for blood, it's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
Can we
And
get an
what
obelisk out
happens
here?
when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men?
Oh, the savannah
Are you going
area.
to hire more?
Yeah.
Right.
We're better off using that coin to buy
Oh,
food
there's a-
and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the
Oh.
only thing we're buying is the bandit's ire.
Here's a
Cannot
dude.
fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back?
I hope my
Maybe it'll be
potions are
your
enough
throat that's slit.
to deal
That's
with the
enough.
10 of clubs.
Both of
Yes.
Right, yeah.
12, 4,
Any more of
20.
this and I'll throw you
Give me
out
that gold.
myself. Come back when
Gil,
you're ready to talk.
Wrong
on
game
adults.
series.
Victor. What's he doing here?
Wait, where do we know Victor from?
Sid. And Lady Jill. What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalamil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason
Go on,
this
take
place
another
might be
swing at
headed
me.
the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalamil's problems.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
45K.
Nice.
So, you see my predicament?
What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could set the entire town alight.
My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake. He'd let them choose for themselves, and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization
Cooldown was not
would be
ready
enough to
on
make
that
them
one, but
question the
otherwise, hi
ingredients.
Banshee, you're not getting in here.
While it's clear neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt
Torgal
their
has
own
also gone primed.
before
Nice.
presenting
That
them
is
with a
good.
third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other?
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
It appears we have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly. I'll speak with Natalie.
As you wish.
Your faces are not well known in this town.
The Bahamut sword
That may prove useful.
looks great until that halfway up the
Don't worry,
blade, and then
Victor
it's
I will do
very,
most
very
of the
silly.
talking. You
Yep.
need only play along.
Play along.
Okay, I full countered his actual strong move.
Nice.
Guard, icon guard. So that went well. That was a fun fight. Leveled up from it. Scarletite, nice. Pet dog. Pet.
Here she
Let me
is.
pet dog. Hello. Do not run
Lady
away.
of the spear herself. Conrad.
Clive, you just
may I
hover-handed your
introduce you
dog.
to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
A pleasure, my lady.
Famari,
Pleasure
empty
is
hovel.
all
There we
mine.
go.
As I told you, I summoned the commander here from Canberra to inquire about a contract.
Victor says you told him no.
Ambrosia, here you are.
That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that
I only
true?
used 2 high potions
True
on
as
that.
the crystals
That's bad.
cracked. Nobles came and claimed
Big
every last
horn.
one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings.
There's a gate we
You know of
can't
the
get
7
through.
high
That will probably
houses.
be later.
There must be 2 score swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalamil's finest cannot defend this town better
Hi,
than
Curl.
a gaggle of
Don't look at me.
unblooded
Still
striplings?
really enjoying
That a band of beardless youths can better
theatrics.
avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not.
Empty hovel. Here we are.
We'll show those
Time to fight a
bastards
bunch
who
of
they're dealing
bees.
with.
Stop meowing was.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you call the brightest
Why is it
candle
such a
in the
noisy book?
crypt. And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not
2
Sid.
goblin coins.
Well
Great.
played, my lady.
Then let us band together and show these brutes that...
Okay, here's the beat.
If I had my pickaxe, I would.
Horde of evil bees.
I mean, it may
Soul
still be possible to
stingers.
find something. Ah, here he
Going
is
there
now.
next.
Natalie, allow me to introduce Lord Underhill of Randalar's prestigious League of Merchants.
Lord Underhill. At your service.
Ow, that's a lot of damage, actually.
I was just telling the good lady of our conversation, my lord, and how you were lamenting the state of the capital's stores.
Lubor says
Can you not
that
attack all
only
at the
are
same time?
granaries
That makes it
almost
so much
empty,
easier to
but
charge
the
up and make a
war
flare.
and the blight mean this season's harvest won't be
Happy
enough
puncture,
to
no,
fill
I don't like that at all.
Indeed, certainly that is the case. The nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices higher than most commoners can afford. It is only a matter of time before the peasants revolt.
It is worse
Oh,
than I
hell
thought.
yeah.
If what Lord Underhill says is true, I fear we have little
They're just
hope
bees.
of supplementing our stores.
So they're
meager though
not, they're
they
gonna stun
regrettably are.
with normal attacks like, you know,
While I
bees
applaud
do.
your endeavors to dissuade our more bellicose citizens from seeking vengeance,
You can't call them to you, though. That would be silly.
Assessment of the bandits' likely return, which means that now, more than ever, we will need to secure what little we still have: food, weapons, herbs, everything.
Yep, sure. I'll
If our humble town is
parry
to
a
endure
bee.
not only this hardship, but those that are certain to follow, we must stand united.
All right. If it will help to protect my home, I'll do it.
Think, Mark. Oh my god.
Charade.
Why is this game so full of memes in the stupidest ways?
Thank you, Clive.
From already dealt
Performance was
with.
nothing
Empty
if not
hovel.
workmanlike. She saw right through it. I didn't say it was
Cattery.
good, merely that it produced the
That's the
desired
next
effect.
one.
Now, my scouts should be returning shortly. Meet me back at the Briar's Kiss, and we shall see what we face.
Covenant.
Not convinced our roles in this ruse were
Where's
entirely
the cattery?
necessary.
The cattery is over here. Okay, we need to head back. This one.
Conrad seemed quite taken with you.
Mummy, I'm scared.
Oh, I'm ruined.
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad and Natalie have somewhat gracefully accepted their new roles. With time, they may even learn to.
Oh yeah, I figured out what
Time no longer appears
the
to be the
icons on the
luxury it
top
was
left
before
above your
lunch.
uh
I take it your scouts
your
found the
bars are.
bandits.
It's. I think if you
Technically,
have
it'll be the bandits who
gone
found
onto
my
story focus
scouts.
mode and all at all, and
appears
they
they
have
march
the
for
like
Dalamil
accessories
as
that
we
give you auto
speak.
stuff,
All
you'll
of
have
them.
those, and then they're lit
You're
up
not
if you have those.
serious.
They don't just want food, they want the whole damn town.
Boop. And the second left.
I have a favor to ask. I'm told the bandits march in two groups, one from the south and one from the desert, in a move doubtless intended to stretch our already gossamer thin defenses. Very well.
My
Jill and I
knees
will
are.
lead those from the desert. But what of the rest? The rest, my friend, the city shall fight.
Leg eaters.
Together. The stakes I concede are
Oh,
high.
I'm level 37 now. That's
If
a
this
bit
does
better.
not unite Dalamil, nothing will.
That is a lot of faith to put into those who had their hands around each other's throats but a moment ago.
Then it will be for us to see that their hands are kept occupied. And I do mean us.
I thought you might say that.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can. And we will do the same.
Okay. Cat time. Panther time. Grimalkin. There we go.
Let's go fight some bandits.
Yep.
The women folk have come to fuck.
I'll take that one.
He's all yours.
Wild dogs getting hit by mega flare noises.
They mean to overwhelm us.
Yes.
The next are dealt with. Time to fight Grimalkin.
Too slow. Let's try.
The townspeople. Could they have held out?
I don't hear any fighting. What do you think?
That we should hurry.
I love
Natalie,
Titan. So
I
good.
owe you an apology. You did well out there. The inn would have been lost had you not held the line.
Gramal can hide.
Without you, there would have been no line to hold. You saved us, Conrad.
Bonk.
You saved Dalamil.
We all saved Dalamil.
Okay, now I'm gonna go look for the Black Boulder.
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
Let me know if you find it.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked, Sid. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Southern. Oh, this.
Come now, Victor. Why quibble over the details? We are united.
For the best drop in Dalamil,
That is all that
visit the
matters.
final sting.
As for you, Sid,
Yep, I forgot that they
fight
named the inn the final
slightly
sting.
better than you act.
That's a good. That's a good
I'll
inn
take that
name.
as a compliment.
And also, I hate it because I hate bees in 14. Okay, so it's been bothering merchants, so it's gonna be somewhere fairly close to the route.
Our friends seem to have things on.
I love the little lizards that are skittering around.
Ready, go? Yeah!
Ow, that hurts. Yeah, level 2 is fine.
Holy shit, the bandits have war panthers now.
Yep.
Oh! Huh, the chocobo has a kick. Like if you... I don't know if... Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can attack with it, huh? Fascinating. This is the merchant path.
Might take a while.
You're too far off it. Helldiver is a good name for assorted birds.
That's a pretty large cat, that is. Storm panther. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, it's pretty persistent.
No kidding.
That's...
You deserve a rest.
Wonder what's up against. Oh.
Why would you put a box here, video game?
There's no name of the hunt mark, unfortunately. We're looking for a black boulder. Akashic Curl, not you. Bunch of goblins came up on us. Okay. Show empty your pockets. Good bandits. Here we go. Back behind the yep. Adamantoid.
Oh, it's Adamantoid.
Okay, it's gonna be a pain in the ass is what it is. Oh wow, you can just outright Titan block that without needing to perfect charge. That's good to know. Level 3 mega. Has to do it prompt? Uh-oh. Holy shit. Ow.
You were asking about the turtle that's flying?
Yep. I sure fucking was.
Oh yeah.
A deserter turned outlaw. We were more similar than he knew. Let's go.
Come on. Throw another one at me, bud. Level 3 Mega Flare. Whew.
Ah, there they are. Friends.
They don't look happy.
That's a lot of hunts down, actually. Okay. Scarletite, of course. Okay, now I'm gonna go beat the guy, the ninja at the jaw.
You're finished. Nice try.
Where was the turtle?
Fucking north of. Well, I have the map. I can just show you. It's up here. By the bandit's bed.
Okay.
Thank you, Momo. Yep.
Is that the ninja guy down south, or is that a different one?
Yep. The one I was way under leveled for last time I tried to do it.
Here we go.
Straight home now.
Undermine.
Turtle time.
Well, Clive, it looks like we're gonna need an even bigger sword.
faster topple on normally a fish?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm misremembering that. I think that's the fish you farm for fucking water outside the intro in fucking FF8.
Yeah. It might also be that one rare you have to farm in. You have to grind early in the speedrun for 12.
I think I'm all out of hunts that aren't overleveled. So. Go finish this main quest and then turn and start doing more side quests now that I can. Hello.
It should have stayed in its shell.
That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That's what I want. Return to the hideaway.
Ooh, Joshua's awake.
Good.
Maybe we'll go see him. If I have a choice. I don't, it seems. Fade to black.
So the only hunts I haven't done are the Major Brothers and Ruin Reawakened.
I found Ruin Reawakened.
Really?
Yep.
Dang.
I sought it out.
Ah, okay.
Was wondering when you turn
It's in Mornbroom and
from all our friends thanking
it's
you
it's a
for your
dragon.
timely intervention.
Ah.
How is it you always manage to arrive at just the right moment?
Luck, I suppose. Any
It's a
word on
level
the rest of the
50
realm?
dragon.
Dang.
Let's see. Storm's still crying out for mother crystals. The nations are still in chaos. And the skies are still the colour of a kick in the kidneys 2 days on. So...
Right.
Clive, we knew this was going to happen. Well, not the bleeding skies part, but you take my point. Now's not the time to second guess yourself. Now's the time to visit the infirmary. Taya says your brother's awake.
Thank you, Otto.
Where is Yote on all this?
Yeah.
So it was not Sylvester, but Olivier who served as Ultima's puppet. And when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. Only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
Small wonder he hasn't stirred. I would be afraid to wake.
Had I but reached out to him sooner, warned him of the threat Ultima posed. But now, both an empire and her prince lie broken.
Joshua, what do you know of Ultima?
Very little, I'm afraid. Despite my best efforts. 18 years ago, as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, 'twas not death who came for me, but another. And it was while in my rescuer's care, I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow ever since. Ultima is driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
But why me? What possible use could I be to such a creature?
That is one of many answers that have.
I feel like, Clive, the answer to why you is pretty obvious.
I am
at
certain
this
of
point.
this. It is not mere chance. You were
Mhm.
chosen for a reason. All dominants carry within them the might of an icon. Nigh limitless power that is at once acutely limited. I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements. But you, Clive.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit. But they do not end there. The fact Ifrit can even exist goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly...
Oh, that's a lot of blood.
I've encountered that thing several times.
Oh
now.
no.
If it or he, as you say, needs me,
Too much talking.
why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess, I'd say
Canva
the two of you are
time.
somehow
Yep.
incompatible. His mind not properly attuned to your body.
His mind.
Mind, awareness, spirit, call it what you wish. But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept. Is why I struggle and fail to contain him here inside me.
I'm sorry. Inside you.
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
What were you thinking?
It was that or let him take Clive. And I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
Joshua.
Clive, it's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canver.
Well, what's the short of it?
Well, that is the answer to where Yote is, and
cities is under siege by an army of
we're
monstrosities.
traveling together. Yay!
Hooray!
The city guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
No, but they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
There's going to be an amidships joke
We
at
shall.
some point, isn't there?
Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav
Maybe.
to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Koji Fox
You
will
don't-
find a way.
What's the
Yep.
swiftest route to the Free Cities?
The pack. A team. Oh,
That sounds
fuck.
like a question for the map.
There's a
Look
pack
here.
of wolves
This road
Mhm.
through Tabor.
on the way to South
should
to
provide least
Tabor.
trouble.
Okay.
Good.
What a coincidence. Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, bed is where you should be bound.
You don't think I told him the exact same thing?
Were Taya not such a talented healer?
I haven't looked at
would
the
surely
Alliant
have been
reports
inclined
at
to
all.
agree.
There's never anything in there.
Thanks to administrations, I feel I may safely rejoin my attendant, who was to wait for me in Tabor if we
Patrons
became
for
separated.
Light from the Heavens.
All right.
New title:
We
The
travel
Rising
together.
Flame.
Clive.
If he stays close to me,
Paul
he'll be
lifted
fine.
1,500 ability points. Hell yeah.
Brother.
I'll look after him.
Oh, and more quests here. Damn. Any of them pluses? No, but there are some more stuff in my missives.
Oh, yeah.
Another weird recipe.
Weird recipes are good. Let's do another weird recipe.
It seems the hideaway is
Blasted book. Here, you put me in this situation, Clive. You can bloody well get me out of it. I need a hand with a recipe.
Are you sure it's me you're looking for? I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing, thank you very much. What I want from you is a little of your time, right? Oh, and perhaps your sword. You remember Ivan's stew, right? Well, despite the look of the thing, and that awful stench, people wolf it down. So I thought I'd try making one of these supposed masterpieces myself.
Oh boy.
Blimmin'.
Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well...
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped. Ivan had the same problem.
Yeah, but this is my blooming kitchen, and I will not be outdone.
Said you
So if you
spell
don't
it with
want
an
to be seen
I.
as playing favourites,
Yeah, I know.
suggest you lend me a hand.
I've literally never heard it pronounced like it has an I in it
One to play favorites,
at the front, like until this game and the discussion around it.
So,
That's because most
what's on the menu this
English
time?
accents you've ever heard have
Fried
been
Mortress
fake.
of Skyworm. That's one heck of a name, innit? Recipe seemed easy enough to an old hand like myself. Thought I'd followed it to a T. Only, turns out Skyworm livers and Drake's mint are not what I thought they were. At least I hope they're not, given the rancid mess they made.
Ivan said the recipes in the culinary pilgrimage date back centuries. Who's to say the ingredients even exist anymore?
Wow. That's a question for a scholar, wouldn't you say?
Not to be
Perhaps
outdone,
you know of one?
of course.
Kindly old fella who haunts the shelves, maybe?
Fine. I'll go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something. And if he does, I'll see if I can find your ingredients for you.
You do that. Lest we forget, you've got a reputation to uphold.
And there's a quest from the kids in Tome's room as well. Oh, not the kids.
Is a storm coming soon? Will there be...
The tutor.
Sid, perhaps you can help me solve a mystery.
Yep,
I can
they're
certainly
in a
try.
couple places.
Who's gone missing this time?
It's not who, but what. Mid's scales, the ones she made for her workshop. I borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight, and shortly after the lesson, well, they vanished. My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared. Which almost certainly means they had everything to do with it.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
I think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them. As always.
Lawsman Harpocrates. I've come to pick your brain if you don't mind. It's about the book you lent Ivan.
Valisthea, a culinary pilgrimage, a classic. One of my favorites, in fact. The young man did a wonderful job with the Chance's stew. I do hope we shall be able to sample more such marvels in due course.
That's actually why I'm here. I don't suppose you know where I might find skyworm livers and drake's mint.
Ah, so the fabled Sandbrequois delicacy is next on the menu. Delightful.
Oh.
The descriptions of fried mortress never fail to make my mouth water. Now, skyworm is a somewhat antiquated name for the wyvern, their ground livers being the paste from which the mortress is made.
Liver paste, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How very Sandbrequois.
One would have thought the disciples of Bahamut would have a touch more reverence for their icon's brethren, but apparently not. I believe the specific dragon the recipe demands is the blueback wyvern, said to be the very color of the sea beside which it resides.
So we know where to look for our liver.
Okay,
What about
let's
the
go
drake's
bother
mint?
some kids.
Saint's bonnet in contemporary parlance, a herb which grows along the North Reach coast. I gather that one can locate the cheerful yellow flowers by their heady scent alone.
Is this dragon
so I'm
cat?
sure you'll have no trouble finding them. I may add,
Maybe.
people once believed game was best served with the flora that sustained it in life, in which regard fried mortress of skyworm is undoubtedly a typical dish of the time.
Meaning that if I find one, I find the other. To Northreach, then.
Best of luck, Clive. And do save me a bite once the dish is complete.
And
It seems the hideaway is lost.
Did you see the pair that
check
got
the
forwarded to
letters. From Byron, okay. Smooth like butler. Oh, it's from Byron's butler, I see.
Rutherford. Wasn't that the name of my uncle's manservant? Why would he be at Martha's Rest?
And who's this? Oh, it's Goots again.
What am I gonna... Is everything all right, Goots? You seem more discomposed than usual.
Have I really already been playing for an hour and a half?
But I'm in a bit of a muddle.
Yeah?
What the hell?
Nan might be in trouble, and she's...
It's all
Yeah,
right.
Mama showed up and was like, I just rolled out of bed and you've been playing for 3 hours.
Hmm.
There was a trader came by. One of our usuals, like. Said he'd heard some rotten rumours about her down Dallimil Way. Folk are saying she's been selling to bandits and cutthroats and that. I mean, she's fond of a chance to make a coin or two, aye, but she'd never do business with baddies. Especially not the kind who go hurting people who haven't done out. I wanted to ask her about it myself, but I'm scared she'll give us a tongue lashing.
We have to go and...
Never give you
Hi,
a tongue
Momo.
lashing, though,
Hey,
would she?
babe.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm still about face planted into my coffee, but I heard my name.
Thanks,
spoken.
Clive.
Yeah.
You let me know what she says, won't you?
He was going, oh, I've been playing for an hour and a half already. I'm
Sure,
like,
it's all just a
Momo came in and it was like, you've been awake. I've been awake like 0 minutes and you're still like 3 hours deep in a stream. I'm teaching kids how a set of scales works.
Lady Karen. How's business?
Not nearly as foul as the weather.
You're doing good trade then? Both in and...
Clive trying to be
out of the
delicate in how he
hideaway?
broaches this subject with Karen.
Can't complain.
Mm.
Wait. What exactly are you getting at? Not once in 5 long years do you pay my affairs half a care. But here you are today, raking me over the coals like a bloody
Popoto.
popoto.
Just asking. Out of interest. All right. I'm here because I was told that certain rumors have been circulating about you selling weapons to brigands.
Oh, Are you? And who was it who knows me so well as to tell tales of my evil exploits?
I didn't exactly hear firsthand. All I know is that someone in Dalimil has been spreading word to that effect.
And what? You believe it? You think I'm profiting off the blood of innocents, do you? Look, I've done things I'm not proud of. Might be there were a time when I turned a blind eye to the wretchedness of the world so I could line my pocket. But
I
that
just noticed that
woman
those kids
is
have
no more.
the tattoo Clive had.
And you'd know that.
Yep.
If you'd ever paid the slightest
That
bit of
literally,
notice.
that's literally the brand
Lady
that they're
Karen.
talking about when they talk about being branded, isn't it?
Apologize.
Yep.
It was wrong of me
It
to doubt
has
you.
poison in it, so you can't remove it without surgery.
No. I reckon you've got better things to do than pointing
Bloody
your good
hell.
finger at a poor old
Yep.
woman.
There was a whole plot beat about it with a page of diagrams from a book that looked very uncomfortable.
Oh, what a punchline for that stupid fucking cutscene.
spoke with
Oh
Lady
my
Karen.
god.
What?
did she say?
I was
rumors
I
were
was still
unfounded,
reeling from the branding.
and that I was a fool
Yeah,
for thinking
no,
they might
like,
hold any
he was
truth.
teaching him how to
Along with
put
some
the
other
scales
things,
together, and they left out a part, and they're just like,
While it sounds
wait a
like she
second, we
may
forgot
have
a
done
part.
things she
Do you
regretted
think Sid forgot?
in
And
her
he just
past.
walks away, and they stare at him.
Says those days are behind her.
Oh, well.
Shit's still broken.
That's good. I knew Nan wasn't caught up in out bad.
Clive is a
say she was?
meathead. It's
What
fine.
did she ever do to them? It's not right.
No, it's not. But people do things for all sorts of reasons. Perhaps we'll never know.
Well, I'm going to find out. That trader, he said they were all talking about her in Dalimil. So that's where I'm going. I'll find someone who'll tell me, you'll see.
Are you sure that's wise? Whoever's spreading these rumors means Karen ill.
Oh, right. But that's why you'll be coming with me, isn't it, Clive?
I suppose it is.
I heard the Emperor was impaled on his...
We're all gonna die! You hear me?
What do you reckon we should do? I say we should...
Sid!
Hard at your studies, I see. And what is that? It's not a set of scales, is it?
No. Of course it isn't.
Well, not anymore, it's not.
I'm sure they're very grateful and not going to laugh at you behind your back for forgetting a cogwheel on the scales.
But we didn't break them. We dismembered them.
Just like Miss Mididol showed us.
Miss Mididol? And why would she have you dismembering her
Let's go pick
creations?
up.
Because that's the
Ooh.
only way to become a ninja-near.
I have to go to the news
Oh,
zone,
the-
the Crozier
Let's wait and
Echoes.
see how something worked.
The
They said
kid
take it apart and put it back together
misunderstanding
again.
an engineer as
Well,
a
then your work is already
ninja-neer.
half done.
Yeah.
That's really
Carry on.
cute.
About that.
The taking
They also
apart was
all
easy
refer to
enough, but
her as Miss
it's the putting
Mididol,
back we
which
can't
is
work out.
weird.
Speak
But
for yourself.
cute.
The heavy thing goes at the bottom.
Joshua.
Then...
You three need to learn to take responsibility for your actions. So let's have a look at these parts with fresh eyes, shall we?
Cloak and dagger.
All right. Everything here was once part of Miss Mididol's scales.
Yeah, okay. I
Every piece has its own
figured
role
that
to
was
play,
due to
and
happen.
each is just as important as the
okay.
others. If even one of them is missing, the scales won't work. So let's think about what those roles might be.
Over here.
You already know one of the pieces. The body. Its role is to support everything else. But what of the others? This tiny piece is what's called a cogwheel, or gear. Have you ever seen one before?
I have. Miss Miradol's dungeon is full of them. Most are on the floor.
She puts them in all her inventions. They spin round and round and round and round.
I like the kids talking about the cogs as if it's kind of ornamental.
They're very useful when you want to make things move. Do you remember if there was anything on the scales that moved?
I remember the arm moved when I tried weighing an apple. And then somebody ate it.
Not my fault. You shouldn't have tried weighing it before
One of
lunch.
3 brilliant gemstones acquired and set aside by Sid for a rainy day. Otto now deems that they too have arrived and wishes to use the rubies to pay off 3 outstanding debts to Lady Karen, Martha, and Martha's rest, Isabella of the Vale.
Ah, right. Yes.
Yep.
Not a bad idea. You see? It's not so difficult. This is called the arm. Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't look much like an arm.
You're right. It looks more like a wing. Like a chocobo wing.
You've ridden a chocobo before, haven't you, Sid? Will you teach me to ride one one day?
I'll think about it. Now, what do arms do?
She does kind of want Clive.
So wait.
Yeah, no, the bit where Jill is like,
good thinking.
Ahem, I'm right here. Don't flirt with my dude.
I don't think I had Jill with me on that quest. That's a shame.
It was the
These round parts are called the pans.
the thing with the ghosts in this
You all know
area.
what a pan is, don't you?
I do.
The enemies.
Molly uses them in the kitchens to fry bangers. But these aren't for frying bangers, you idiot. They're for weighing stuff. But what if I wanted to weigh Goots? I don't think he'd fit on that little thing.
Probably not.
What are the chains for? Holding the pans up?
Well spotted. Which means something must hold the chains up in turn. So, now that we've taken stock of the parts and learned what they do, what do you think?
I think we've got it.
Then here's what we'll do. You tell me what goes where, and I'll put the scales together.
Well, obviously you need to start with the body. All the other pieces fit onto it, don't they?
And the arms go on the body, just like real arms. Or wings, if you're a chocobo. And then the arms hold the pans by the chains.
Very good. Let's see if that works. Ah, all finished.
Yes! We did it!
Well, with Sid's help.
Oh, I just put the pieces together. It was you 3 engineers who showed me how.
That's right. We're Miss Miradol's hairs.
Her hairs?
Yeah, hairs for the future. She's showing us her secrets now, so we can help out the hideaway when we're older.
What do you think, Sid? Are we almost ready?
With a little more help from Miss Miradol and Miss Shirley, I'd say it won't be long
I see
at
that
all.
blue dragon.
You hear that? It won't be long.
Neurons activated. The words
then,
blue
though.
dragon.
I know, that's why I said them.
Honest with Miss Shirley.
Brat.
Hello.
Yes, I also like red dragons, dear.
Never used the cogwheel.
No, I mean, no, I just saw it too.
Do you?
Is what I mean is what just happened there. I suspect it's rather smaller on my screen than on Lexi's.
I mean, it's still in distance.
Hunting sheep, most likely.
Lucky what am I? Where the fuck am I going?
Sheep are not quite as tasty as Paladin, but
Paladins are easier to cook because they come in their own pans.
very much so.
I heard the Emperor was impaled on his
Crosjet Echoes really is one of the place names of all time.
Seems the hideaway is.
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be...
Well, did you solve the mystery?
It was as you thought. The children had the scales, or the parts of them at least. They dismantled them to see how they worked.
Oh, no, Mid will have my head.
Thankfully she won't. This might even have been her idea. Although I was the one who ended up teaching the lesson.
I'm so sorry, Sid. I know how busy you are. I shall see that the children are properly punished.
Please, there's no need. Mid seems to have taken the 3 of them under her wing. She's even calling them her heirs. She'd have them follow in her footsteps. And her father's.
I see. Sid, do you know why Mid has been spending so much time at the hideaway of late?
She told me it was because her studies have been interrupted by events
Raptor
in
liver,
Canberra.
dragon talon.
Is that not true?
No, it isn't. The university offered her a commission. In exchange for full tuition, room and board,
Oh, hey, look,
they asked her to oversee the design of several new war engines. To anyone else it would be an opportunity, but to Mid, who lost both her parents to war, it was a bitter pill. One she was none too keen to swallow. But that should come as no surprise. She's only ever cared about bringing people hope.
Martha's Rest
The very
first.
last thing war can be said to do.
Which explains her heirs. She's working to give them a better life. And so should I. What's the odd engineering lesson?
Oh, you've given them far more than that. And I'm sure they're very grateful.
Right. Then more new huts. Just the pack, okay. Oh, it's not gonna let me fast travel.
Yep, you gotta go to the new zone first.
Ah, okay.
Same as always. I don't know why they have that limitation, but
I might just do the story for a bit then.
It's like a dream. The 4 of us out walking like we used to.
Enjoying this, are you? Gavin?
Dracos Deep, huh? It's a place named those, huh?
The others could be in danger as we speak.
back to the hideout.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yote is a fine scout.
And I'll go do
If
box
Campbell was
side
attacked,
quest.
she will already have begun gathering information.
Tabor isn't far. We should pick up the pace.
We can use the ruins to cross the ravine.
Assuming they will allow it, the Echoes have a will of their own.
Oh, wow. The party took care of that lot quickly.
Yep. Karen, take this fucking ruby, idiot.
She will not.
Tell us about Yote, Joshua.
She's strong-willed, loyal, and deadly with a blade. Much like Clive, but with better manners.
There's the explanation, that part of the explanation of who Yoda is. Momo squeak?
Yep.
Don't know what I pay you for.
Where are you off
Speaking
to
of
now,
which, I
then?
haven't been paid.
Bound for the
in
free
a
cities,
month.
Yeah.
perhaps?
Goat is a silly little bastard.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
You're injured. What happened here? Where are your comrades?
Ether flood up ahead. It swallowed our camp while we slept. My own men did this. Turned every last one of them. There's a village not far from here. Tabor. The people were kind to us. It's only a matter of time before they won't stand a chance. We can't let those monsters reach the...
I'll go. You catch your breath.
Thank you. Our encampment is up ahead. Just off the track. They must not reach Tabor. Forgive me, Lord Kuka.
Rest well, soldier.
Okay.
You said the encampment was close. Let's hope the Akashic are still there.
Another ether flood. They're everywhere now.
We can't go round it.
Then we'll just have to be careful.
Good. I got here in time.
Ow. Backstabbed by a chocobo.
You're finished.
Oh, that would be exciting. Not off in the middle of combat.
Farewell.
Marathon getting to you, dear.
Yeah, I'm not even short on sleep. I am a little bit short on sleep, I guess.
Please.
I slept better last night than I have been the last couple nights. So.
Doesn't sound like an Akashic.
Oh.
You're with the
Let's go to
battalion.
another dying soldier.
Heard the fighting. Are the others?
Taken care of. One of your brothers in arms told me what happened and asked for help.
Another survivor? Where is he? Tell me.
His wounds were too deep.
We are moving into near side quest territory. Everybody's dead.
Fuck on.
He was right to send you. Those thugs you slew are no longer my brothers. Tabor is safe thanks to you.
Oh, I'm just trying to get...
You've earned it.
one of my operators to E2 level 60.
Chunky ask.
You seem familiar.
Yeah, but it's bagpipe.
You must have me confused with someone else.
Valuable. Worth having.
That scar. Son of a whore. You're Sid.
I was there in Cosnis when you killed my brothers.
It's a bastard
I was
fucking
there in
ass,
Rosalith
but,
when you killed my commander.
My war with Hugo
I'll get a
Kubo is
module
over.
out of it, hopefully.
I bear no
That
ill
too.
will toward those who followed him.
And what of my ill will? Coward! Draw your steel. Lord Kupka shall be avenged!
When your wounds have healed and your head has cooled, come and find me if you must. Though I hazard your life would be better spent in service of those who need it. Or have you forgotten your oath to the Republic?
My oath? What would you know of oaths?
I know how hard they are to keep. Which is why I'm giving you the chance to keep yours.
This is a
So
cool
we
scene.
ended this
actually.
side quest on East Stream
I
yesterday.
won't be
Okay.
deceived. Lord Kupka told us of your crimes. You are an outlaw. A murderer, not some
Man. Like you or anyone else.
I am nothing like you. But if you're not gonna kill me, then go. Leave! Just know that I will find you, Sid. Someday.
I wonder if they'll actually have that guy find us again.
Quest complete. Payback. Let us see about this dragon liver.
nearly there.
Have you been to Tabor before?
There are a few places I haven't.
I really like the chocobo sitting down pose. So cute.
They're just big birds after all.
Where now, Joshua?
There is a residence just inside the city gates. She awaits us within.
Enters this house without knocking.
I swear to God, Yvonne,
My Lord
you need
Marquis,
to learn how to eat
it is
food.
an honor.
You take one bite of anything
I
and
am
you
Yoke,
keel over
Knight
coughing,
of
and
the
then you're like,
Undying,
that
charged
was
with the protection
excellent.
Of His Grace Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix.
Of course. It all makes sense now.
Would you care to elaborate?
The Undying are loyal servants to the ducal throne. Or more specifically, to its heir. They have served our family for generations, albeit from the shadows.
Since their inception, they have been tasked with the preservation and enactment of the rites of ancestral communion. After the events at Phoenix Gate, it was the Undying who delivered me to safety. And since the day I left Rosaria, Yote has been my constant companion and protector. Without her sword, I would not have survived my journey across the realm.
The enthusiasm's nice.
Yeah.
Rise, Lady Yote.
You are real close to your next level.
You saved my brother. I owe you
And
a
look,
debt
another
I can
side
never
quest.
repay.
I but did my duty.
Hi, Goots.
Tell us what you've discovered.
Your Grace. It is as you feared. The vessel we spied off the coast of the Crystalline Dominion on the night of her fall. It was the Einherjar. Beyond any doubt.
The Black Galleon.
Joshua.
Yote's really pretty too.
The Einherjar is the Royalists' flagship. What business would they have in the Dominion?
Upon learning of Waloed's involvement in recent events at Drake's Fang, I sensed the malign influence of Ultima, and bid Yote and the Undying look into the matter.
We have reason to believe that the Black Galleon weighed anchor shortly after the fighting began, and set a course due south.
For Canva. Then it is Waloeda Knights who besiege the cities.
What is left of them? Yes. And the Black Galleon sails at but one man's behest. Barnabas Tharm.
Meanwhile, where are we?
An eye for an eye. Are we gonna find out what's up?
Oh my
with
God!
Karen's eye?
The Council of the Free Cities of Canva is called the Agora.
Being paid, if that's what you're implying.
All the more reason for them to run.
Well, you are free to leave, Lord Minister.
Markets abandoned, warehouses aflame, blackened hulls choking every port in the capital. Canva is ruined.
The realm teeters on the brink of chaos, and all you can think about is commerce.
Forgive us. We were not aware Dhalmekia now subsisted on charity.
Not quite. How dare you?
Is somebody about to murder these people? Yep.
Distinguished members of the council.
Are we safe
you
here?
Must forgive His
No.
Majesty this intrusion.
What is the meaning of this?
A trifle crowded, But I fear it will have to serve, my liege.
Very well.
My colleagues, do you not see? The king! He has come to save us from the Akashic. He is a gift from the heavens, divine intervention, our very salvation.
And of course, if it is compensation he requires, we would be most willing to negotiate a fair price for services rendered.
Fools. Your ignorance unbecomes you.
Your Majesty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would swear that the fiends washing the cobbles of Canva with the blood of her citizens wear the colors of Waloed. Ha! So you do not deny it. Guards, fetter them, and see our guests to the dungeons!
Enough.
Oh, he just fucking killed them all.
Pathetic creatures.
A little bit of Zantet skin.
That you should imagine yourselves worthy of salvation. The girl is still here, somewhere in the city. Her consciousness fair dripping with her late father's hubris.
And they are specifically after
Consciousness
Mid.
to which Muthos is inextricably
Oh,
bound
boy.
and inexorably drawn. See that he is made welcome.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Come, Muthos. Surely the prince's
Holy
light cannot
shit,
have sated you.
Stat jump. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna check my missives first.
So then, how long has Waloed been under
And also my
Ultima's
keep
control?
saves.
How long indeed?
All memories.
Based on what we know of Barnabas'
Guardians
actions, I would guess some few years, mayhap more.
But to what end? What does Ultima want?
The tapestry. Show them.
Oh. Taking care of hands. Yep.
That's the design we saw.
By the flames.
Phoenix Gate, Drake's Breath, and now here.
In the
But
Mother
what is it?
Crystals.
It is old, ancient, even. Naught remains of the faith it represents, save what can be gleaned from the image itself. None could tell me what the one in the apothecary meant, even the Undying. But I believe it may be the key to discerning Ultima's
Oh, the Undying
purpose.
was the final phase of the final boss of
Center,
FF12.
the one
That's
beneath whom
that's
the
what
icons
throwing me.
congregate. That I believe to be
The
Ultima.
Amtide.
He is a god, or at least godlike.
Also,
his very existence beyond our
Bluebird referred to Jill as Clive's better half.
meant to be
Yeah.
his subjects. And while some, like Barnabas, have accepted this role,
I haven't
others
even
have
kissed yet
rejected
and already married.
like you, Clive, which is
How
rather
chaste.
inconvenient, as it appears he needs you most
What
of
are
all.
they, us?
And gods don't like to be
Long
disobeyed.
distance relationships suck.
No, I don't suppose they do.
Cool.
Clive, may I tell Yote of the lake?
By all means.
I did
I
remember.
will be accompanying my brother
to take my meds
to the
today.
Free Cities. Whilst we are afield, I would have you watch over those Clive has made his wards. Omielos delan tu isag ilith. Though well concealed, the hideaway lacks trained fighters to defend its occupants should they be discovered.
But it is my duty to...
As it has ever been my brother's duty, remember.
If that is your wish, Your Grace. But please be safe. If aught were to befall you,
I kind of wish that Rutherford wasn't a character that appeared on screen, just off-screen butler the entire time, every time Byron shows up. But on the other hand,
I
it's
think
fine.
Joshua and Yote are an item.
I'm glad. Someone in the Ross Fields is getting some.
farewell, my lord, my lady.
Also, when he dispatched her on this latest assignment, he did the same thing that they do to the owls. And said the same incantation. Her eyes didn't turn to hyperspace, though.
Let's find our friends.
It's plain she cares for you very deeply.
And I her, which is why I had to let her go.
Who among you is bold? Is that blade for hire, perchance? Because I have a mind to make a killing.
Figuratively, I hope.
Well, yes and no. A passing caravan carried with it a rumor most fortuitous for one in my trade, that an elder Dread Evis had been sighted in the fields of
An elder
Carava.
Dread Evis had been
Dread
sighted.
Evis are aggressive beasts. Compelled
I like that
as they
series of
are
words.
to acts of violence, few survive to maturity. But those that do develop a hide of phenomenal value.
A hide you want to sell?
Eventually, yes. Though I would have it tanned first that it might be crafted into marvels the likes of which the world has never seen. Dread Evis skin is a rare thing.
I need to go there anyway.
But the worked hide of a well-aged beast. Now, that would fetch such coin that Gilbert himself might weep with envy.
I can't believe Gil is just named after Mr.
Share
Gil.
with you the bounty of our combined labors.
All right. I'll hunt your Evis.
Of course you will. When one lives in such troubled times, it is a fool who lets opportunity slip his grasp. Leave Tabor through the east gate, but take the path that branches west. Once you reach the checkpoint at Tovany, you are a mere stone's throw from the fields of Carava. I eagerly
boy.
await your safe, and above all, triumphant return.
Wait. Where are the side quest? There is another side quest here. How do I get up there? This way? Right. This town would probably be really pretty if it wasn't seen by the light of a doomed sky.
How are those new boots treating you?
You! Finally. No one was paying me the slightest heed.
Is something wrong?
At the university, the students would hang on my every word. Sadly, this far from home, I'm just a vagrant graybeard.
This is the most sounds like one of my colleagues' character yet.
A specialist in ancient cultures, the most accomplished in all Valisthea, some have said. Not that I look the part in these tattered rags. In my heyday, no obstacle could have kept me from my studies. Yet here I am, a wizened windbag, bested by the many steps of Tabor. The answers I seek lying just beyond my enfeebled reach. would you do an old man a kindness and brave the stairs in my stead? You'll be amply rewarded, of course.
Climb the stairs and
memorize a few
This
inscriptions.
man too old to climb
for me.
stairs to look at inscriptions.
Assuming you know your letters, that is. Some courteous soul is rumored to have carved clues to Tabor's rich history into stones dotted about the village. 3 of them, to be precise. 1 each to the north, south, and east. I'm here in the hope that those carvings might shed light on a riddle I've been pondering for some time.
I forgot my chair had a
The
recliner
otherwise
switch
undocumented
thingy.
origins of Tabor's unique people. People quite
Better than
unlike
Trimpin'.
those of neighboring
Yeah. At least it gives you a change of posture for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what you
Just hope my boobs haven't made me so top heavy that I fall over backwards.
for
If
the
you hear a
domed
loud crunch.
pavilions, and you'll have no trouble finding the stones.
Hazards they never tell you about.
It's alright, my head is emptied. I'll counterbalance the effect.
How are those new boots treating you?
Oh, that's a stone. Guardians of the Crystal, the first stones of Tabor, sacred hold thy noble blood till ends the mother's labour. That's a stretch of a rhyme.
no history would be complete without mention of the mother crystals.
Not a scratch on them. Have you noticed the elder has been coughing?
The second inscription. Wanderers of the Golden Plains, lay your roots in stone. With pride recall thy noble past and make these rocks a home.
What golden plains might the wanderers have called home, I wonder?
Decent quarry's been hard to find since the sky's turned.
It has indeed.
You right?
Oh. Hold on. I need to see if this is in tubes already.
Oh god. Children of the hunters now tillers of the land, reap a promising blessing, give praise to a gracious hand. Okay.
It is
Oh,
not
must have settled
okay.
down Tabor.
I have put
I
it
should
where
speak
it
to the old
belongs.
scholar.
Oh
everything
boy.
I've read.
What have you found, my dear?
Oh.
Every day I'm glad that Animist is also
Oh yeah, that
in this fandom.
it's so good.
The engravings were in good repair considering their age.
Good.
Oh, what
But
that
I get
could
animation.
have seen for myself.
Level 38.
Oh, come, don't tease me now. What did you learn of this place and its people? Let's start with the engraving to the south, shall we? What did it say?
Always glad for a physical mute button.
Oh, what was written on the Crystal South? Guardians of the Crystal, Guardians of the Republic, or the Great Good Moogle Guardians? I think it was Crystal.
Guardians of the Crystal.
Yeah.
The first stones of Tabor. Sacred hold thy noble blood, till ends the mother's labor. I'm pretty sure that was it.
Fascinating. It would seem the founders of this city were descendants of those fallen charged with protecting the mother crystals. But whatever could have driven the Guardians so far from their sacred charges, I wonder? The engraving to the north is next, I think.
It was Golden Plains.
Wanderers of the Golden Plains, lay your roots in stone. With pride recall thy noble past, and make these rocks a home. Or, I think that was it, at least.
No doubt you're right. There are vestiges of nomadic customs in Tabor its guardian roots could never account for. This is proving most enlightening. Now, for the final stone.
It was Tillers of the Land.
Children of the hunters, now tillers of the land. Reap her promised blessing, and give praise her gracious hand. That's all three.
And so, we add primitive farmers to Tabor's founding peoples, the final piece of the puzzle. 3 engravings, one for each of the 3 peoples to have settled Tabor in ancient times. Guardians of the Mother Crystal, wanderers from across the plains, and last but certainly not least, hunters turned farmers. Little wonder it was so difficult to trace the roots of Tabor's culture. Those roots reach down through 3 distinct traditions. Nonetheless, one cannot help but wonder why this fact is not better known among scholars, given that the stones stand here for all to see.
Too many stairs, perhaps.
Ha! Too many by far. Here, and thank you.
I have read the stones. Let's go and hunt the dragon. Just said things.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I can't get out that way. Can't I just... down.
How are those new boots treating you?
Can I get down this way?
Beneath the flood, yes, and not a stone's throw.
Off we go. Who's this?
Cyril. How fares the search?
Well, Your Grace, my report shall be with you ere long.
Is this another Undying?
Ah, yes. Yotei is otherwise engaged, at my behest.
And the duty of wardenship?
Fulfilled. For as you see, I've been reunited with my first shield.
I am Cyril, Knight of the Undying.
In this stream, we support women's wrongs, especially Karen's.
Charged with chronicling the mortal deeds of His Grace, Joshua Rosfield, Keeper of the Flame of the Phoenix, and rightful Archduke of Rosaria.
I entrusted Cyril here with overseeing the investigation into Ultima's origins. Findings
Don't know
from his
what
brothers
Karen
and
did
sisters afield
wrong,
are delivered
but
here
I'm sure
to be
she did it
collated
perfectly.
and catalogued.
Oh,
Just
just
tell me
gouged a
Undying
dude's eye out.
there.
Not nearly.
Wait, what? She
That
did?
sounds like he did a good thing to me.
I was not paying attention to her dialogue. Oh no, that's a different place.
Such is
that the
and
Goose
has
quest?
ever been our creed.
I see.
You have your associates, I have mine. But you may now think of them as ours. That won't be a problem.
Also,
will it?
A Kanatan cover of
Phoenix
Kyofu
is
all
our
back.
sun.
Yeah,
But the shadows
the art on that one is pretty
in his
wilding.
radiance. It
Also,
is
I
from
like
the
that
darkness
Cannington's
that we
mascot is
serve.
now just
Both him
Axolotl.
and now you. Pray accept this token.
Okay.
For as long as you bear it, members of our
I got the
order
Phoenix
will
down.
reveal themselves unto you.
Hey.
If there is nothing further.
No. You are
The
dismissed.
Undying.
Your grace.
Cute.
Oh, today is just a day of posting covers. Okay.
Oh, who else is posting covers?
Later.
Zeta, Anya.
Cyril seemed very. You certainly keep strange bedfellows, Joshua.
Okay.
They often
I'm
do
gonna be
tend
right
to
back.
come out at weekends.
Be right back.
Okay.
The free cities under siege.
I go this way.
Are you sure this is the right way, brother?
Just so many
I
covers.
missed the Tuba Choco Luna Photon for the cover.
Finished.
Put them all together.
Is that the one from a couple of weeks ago?
Which is 12 days ago, so yes, apparently. Yeah, Hikaru Nara, yeah.
Yeah. Worked way better than I would have expected for their voices. I really enjoyed it. Can I get through this gate at the moment? This doesn't look promising. Oh, maybe.
Okay, I will be right back.
It's fun that this party means we're now 2 fire and 2 ice wielders. So I can't go that way. Passage through to the southern Velcro, I guess.
Let's go. Fly, Ambrosia.
Odds is probably worth the joke,
Right.
especially with wolves actually on the road. I really hope there's some sort of post-game where I can come back and see this area with the sun out. Is this my target? This looks like it might be my target. Yes, straight at this.
Old he may be, but it looks like there's still plenty of fight in him yet.
Yoink. Oh, I am over level for this quest. Nice. I love it when they're straightforward. Oh, that's the Goots quest, okay. I do want to do that one. Especially if it's got Karen taking out someone's eye. That's my idea of a good time. You, here's your dragon skin.
Here's your hide, as requested.
I worried you might never return. Quickly, let me see it. Oh, as supple as a maiden's cheek.
Yeah, that is a way you could
Yes,
describe
as
this, I
adamant
guess,
as
sir.
her virtue. This is everything I'd hoped for, and more. Clearly, my trust in you was not misplaced. You must be a hunter of considerable talent to have bested the beast with nary a scratch.
I'm just over level.
Join
dude,
me
it's fine.
as my honored partner. With my means and your might, we shall be as wealthy as the merchant kings of Zemeckis.
How can
I
I
don't
play this
plan
game
on
for
making
2.5
a habit
hours
of
and
this.
barely notice?
I'm busy enough
All
as it
the
is.
time, especially
Very
on
well.
stream. Normally
Though I
playing it on
believe
stream
fate
makes
had a
it
hand in our
slower.
meeting, it would be unbecoming of me to beg. Do not allow me to keep you from being about your business. Here, for the hide.
Okay. I'm doing that. Do the cooking quest. Is that this one? 2. Yes. Because that's just fighting something. Feels weird that the warp point here is on this side of the gate, but the town is on the other side. You always have to go through the gate to come to this part of the world. Damn it, I have kill fuel back on my brain now. It's a fun song, I enjoy the MV a lot, but god damn it.
Hippocrates said I should be able to find what I'm looking for somewhere nearby. Bright blue dragons and bright yellow flowers. Should be easy. This must be our wyvern. Alright. Let's get this over with. Too slow.
Nice. I really don't have the control
the
over my
wyvern's
muscle
liver.
memory learning to
No,
play
I
this
just need to
game
find
properly.
the herbs. Bright yellow with a heady
I'm
scent.
still using the exact same stuff. The exact same kit that I was at the start of the game. Just like the first things that I get, I use those.
I think that's everything Molly needs to resurrect her recipe.
Let's see what she's gonna cook this time.
It seems the
Renown
hideaway's
level
lost
must
its...
have gone up.
So, did you have that word with Tomes then?
I did, and he was as helpful as ever. He told me exactly where to look, in fact.
And the materials over.
And what precisely will I be cooking up? Or is it better not to know?
Blueback wyvern liver. And, a herb known as Saint's Bonnet.
Ah, wyvern livers, was it? Well, at least it weren't actual worms, I suppose. Now then, You stay right where you are. I've got some cooking to do. Let's hope these grand old chefs of yore knew what they were on about.
Ouch. Let's see what concoction this is going to result in. Liver paste. That doesn't look too bad, actually.
And here we have it. Fried mortress of skyworm. Ivan's offered to make sure it's fit for consumption. Well, I say offered. He as good as begged.
And rightly so. Is there any higher honour than partaking in a slice of culinary history?
They look like chicken nuggies. I thought that was one of my girlfriends then, but no, it's a character in the game.
So, not fit for consumption then?
What witchery is this? The crackle of the crust gives way to an almost violent richness. Yet, it is the piquant kiss of the saint's bonnet that tames this savage dish. It is a tour de force. A force of nature, even.
Plays like a skit from a like 1950s BBC radio comedy where like a West Country bumpkin is secretly a gourmet.
I can't quite tell with all that nonsense he's talking, but I reckon you might be right. It was decent then, I take it.
Restaurant reviewer.
Decent? It's remarkable, and I defy any man to say a word to the contrary. Sid, might I suggest that you command a party of your finest men and women to procure a dozen blueback wyverns forthwith?
I'll give it some thought.
I wonder if there's going to be one of these recipes that just doesn't work out and tastes vile.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I got lunch because I realized it was 1 p.m. and I hadn't eaten for a bit, so.
Well done.
Still gonna be munching.
To the Patron's Whisper. Your benefactors are a generous lot. Here you are.
God, I still have like almost 200 renown to go to get that Talisman of
Best
Pride.
of luck out there, Sid.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Quick look. Seen enough?
All the side quests on offer. What hunts have I still not done? That pack is like going to be on my route anyway. Let's get going and see if we can't find a dog pack to hunt.
The free cities under siege?
Oh, it might be in that area, I suppose. I'm gonna go and see what's
faster
preventing me. Oh,
orcs. Then let us be rid of them.
More orcs.
Too slow.
Yeah, I realized it was just like, oh, I'm gonna like it's been 5.5 hours. I should probably get something
Probably
resembling food. Yeah, right.
No.
Can't wait to see what Ash is like. Ooh, that's a bunch of bandits.
Oh, god damn it, I can't get past this wretched caravan. Boo. This path goes this way.
Run like the wind. Ha!
Clive. Smoke.
Is the city fallen?
They hit me.
It sure does kind of look like the city might have fallen. Given that, you know, we know it's fallen.
Mm-hmm.
The free men are still holding their own, then.
Do we have any idea where Gav and the others might be?
Well, they were building a
There's
ship.
a warehouse near
so
the docks where
probably
we agreed to
docks.
meet if there was any trouble. We should hurry.
Some side quests to pick up. Interesting. Canva might be locking me into plot stuff. Let's go and do side quests.
The bandits may be no more, but look what they've left us.
It shouldn't be too hard to find goods.
The gentlemen of the town guard are right.
Fuck! How the hell? Finest cell swords.
Could be I know something more.
Clive, listen! I found someone who says he's heard the rumors about Nan.
Have you?
Go on. Tell him what you told me.
All right. It's like I said. A wizened old crone by the name of Karen's been selling steel to whoever'll pay her price, be they knight or knave. Says the more swords and spears she puts in people's hands, the more war they'll wage. And the more war being waged, the more call for swords and spears. And who will they all turn to keep them in steel? Why, the good Reaper herself.
And you've seen this Reaper at work?
Aye, it just so happens I have. You'll find her right here plying her trade most days.
Here in Dalimil? Where exactly?
She has a stall here in the market, but if you're not the patient type, you can probably find her at her storehouse on the edge of town. But it'd be a bolder man than me that braved that particular nest of vipers. Feeling bold, traveler? I hope so, for your sake. Now, if that's all, I have places to be.
Sorry to have kept you.
What's the payoff going to be here?
Mm.
Apart from the poking
You
someone's
don't
eye
think
out.
Nan's the Reaper, do you?
Not unless she's discovered the secret of how to be in two places at once.
Eh? What do you mean?
Lady Karen hasn't left the hideaway in weeks. So who has been running this stall he spoke of?
Good question. I'll go and have a look.
And I'll visit this storehouse on the edge of town.
All right, but be careful, Clive.
You too, Goots.
Storehouse on the edge of town that is nevertheless on the other side of the river, so I will have to go round.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. I made the same exact beeline and went, oh wait,
The gentleman of the town
not allowed,
guard.
no fun.
Yeah.
What
It's
a
like
mess.
one thing that you could usefully take from FF15, and it's the fucking throw your sword to teleport thing.
You fought
Being
very
able to
brave.
cross
Safety of
otherwise
the town.
trivial, like visually trivial zone boundaries.
Time to brave
Bring
the
healed
Viper's
Jock.
Nest.
Okay, thank you.
Just you, is it? Thought I might have laid it on a bit thick.
It was a fairly unconvincing tale. So, what now?
That's up to you. Die a slow death, or a quick one. Boys, he's all yours. But that sword is mine.
Leave now and we can pretend this didn't happen.
You're finished. Stay down.
Oh, that was Joshua launching a fucking laser at me.
Yep, right on cue. Also on my screen.
Stay down.
Nope.
That was the emphasis on the was.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies if you hear my stomach gurgling.
Oh, you've done
I
it
didn't hear
now.
it, so.
Go on. Tell me what I've done.
When the Borgwyn finds out you've killed his men, he'll have your head. He only wanted that
good.
bull of a
Bird figured out how to do
manservant,
the
dim one
site she
always
was working on.
clinging to Karen's
And it's working
skirts. You.
We're both listed as live.
Not supposed to be here.
Hey.
Who the hell are you anyway?
What were you going to do to him?
The Borgwyn wanted him to get to Karen. I was only supposed to point the lamp in the right direction once he arrived in Dalamil. But then you turned up. Well,
I guess it was the
go on,
optimal time to have
if you're going to end me,
testing
me.
for seeing if the we're live function works, because we're just gonna be live all fucking day.
Yeah.
Fucking coward!
I need to find Goots. Right now.
Rutherford.
Get your filthy paws off me, you naughty painted lout!
Stop calling me names! And stop spreading them horrible lies about Nan!
Well, that will be easy enough. For they are not lies. Every last word is true. And she must pay for her crimes in blood.
Blood?
Goose, are you all right?
He's gonna kill Nan! He said she had to pay in blood!
After what she did, it is only right. She ruined my life and the lives of countless others. That loathsome harpy's very existence is a crime, and I will not allow it to continue.
This guy definitely seems trustworthy and upstanding.
Goots, was it? I have no quarrel with you. Only with your employer. Run along now. You need not pay for her sins.
No.
No?
I don't care what she did. I won't let you hurt Nan. Promise me
Smooth
you
like
won't
Butler.
hurt her, or I'll...
What a stinker of a
kill
fucking quest name.
Goots, no.
Claire. I'm not using Claire.
Enough, all of you!
But how did you?
You're a sight less clever than you think you are, the pair of you. Did you think I wouldn't notice the two of you slinking off together? Well, the whole thing got me thinking, who in Dalamil might bear me a grudge? And a certain snivelling shit I ran afoul of in my fairy years
the way
came to
Karen said, a
mind.
certain snivelling shit I ran afoul of.
Bogan.
Yep.
Back then.
Fucking yes.
One sec. I thought the years might have taught you some sense, but I see you're the same pants-pissing craven you've always been. What was it we called you? Wet legs?
You bitch! Everything that happened, it was all your fault! And now you'll finally pay for what you did to me!
Goots, you...
If you want a piece of Nan, you'll have to go through me.
Fuck!
You great galoot. Out of the way, I can handle this myself. So, wet legs, you remember what you told me when we last met? An eye for an eye. Wise words, Sam. Wise words. And now, it's time to collect.
Holy shit, is she really gonna do it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Where's Carly when we need her?
Is he
busy working on the website?
Dead?
Oh, yeah.
No.
And looking at all the covers.
It's an easy going through life, one eye short of a pair. After all, I should know.
You don't mean...
Oh, don't tell me you didn't notice. Lost it to old Wet Legs back when we were working the same routes. Said I'd stolen from his strongbox. I'd done nothing of the sort, mind. But that didn't stop him taking his little revenge. So I took some of my own. Sorry, lost everything. His coin, his clients. Always knew he'd be back one day to claim his due. But I
Okay.
crossed a line dragging poor Goots into this. It didn't hurt you, did I?
Hey, that's
No,
good shit,
Nan.
Momo.
Still got all my
Yeah,
arms, see?
excellent.
Legs too. But what if he comes back again?
What if he does?
Now you can be the other
Guess we
kind of
take
hot
the
and
other line,
bothered.
then we work our way down. He'll learn his lesson soon enough. But something tells me the wet legs has learned it already. Right. Let's get you back to the hideaway. You've
I'm gonna
attracted
clip
quite
that
enough
sequence
attention already.
specifically for Carly.
Ta-ra,
She
Clive.
needs to.
Yep.
Remind me never to cross you, Karen.
Okay, that's that one out of the way. There were other quests at Martha's Rest. Was there also a hunt at Martha's Rest that I hadn't done?
I don't know. I'm gonna double
It's out
check
in that
the hunt
direction
board.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
No new hunts, and you're just gonna tell me to go to. Let's get ahead of that curve.
Quiet Sands in Rosario. That's not quite there.
Every time I see Bocklad, I want to make a Boktai joke. Solar Boy Jenga, do you mean Bocklad?
Actually, before I do that, I might as well speak with Karen since I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like a dish of cold vengeance to foul the gut.
I'm sorry, Nan. I didn't mean to make things worse. I just thought I had to protect you. Like you've protected me.
Aye, well, someone had to. Your parents certainly didn't give a whit for your well-being. Reckon the both of us would be worse off if I'd not taken you on. You've always been me right eye, Goots. And I'd have you stay that way. So don't you dare go looking for trouble again.
Well, I will. If you ever need help, I'll do it again and again, and you can't stop me.
Karen is
Why,
so
you
good.
big lump.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Play the hero if
I
it
want to
makes
see
you happy.
Karen hug someone by
Thanks,
the end of this
Nan.
game.
I won't let you down.
There's nothing he wouldn't do for you.
That's as maybe. But if he's ever to make his own way in life, he'll need to start looking out for himself as well. Till then, he'll need people to watch his back, just like you did in Dalamil. Don't think I didn't appreciate that.
Of course. His family.
Stop it. You make me one good eye, mister. I don't go thinking that'll do you any favours. A potion today'll cost you the same as it did yesterday.
Maybe tomorrow I'll go over to the furniture shop across the road and see if there's a low footstool. It's the sort of thing that they pick up a tenner.
Mm-hmm.
Spare that. Oh, is that a new renown? It can't be new renown. Something's blocked over there. No, I was gonna go see about this hunt, which I think is right down the south end of Rosaria, maybe. Quiet zones. Hey, I was right. Just about.
Ready, go?
Faster!
Well, that might be them.
You deserve a rest.
Certainly some very large men. Three of them.
Not for long.
Too slow.
So different. By having multiple enemies and stagger bars at the same time.
Too slow.
All three of them were being cannon for one of their specials. Like, okay, well, this is a mess, but it's kind of a fun mess.
Ah, so they have a kind of well.
Yeah, they're the maggot sisters.
Oh!
Yeah. Mindwid, Sandwich, and Chloroform. Mindy, Sandy, and Cindy.
What if the Mega Sisters were enormous burly men and Welsh?
Yep.
Level up. Level 40.
No more vengeance.
I love that Josh is willing to go full Phoenix in the middle of the fucking desert. Just like, yeah, I'll turn into a Phoenix for a bit. Okay.
Nice. So Martha's got a question as well as Rutherford's.
Ah, Clive. Just the man I was hoping to see.
Oh? And why is that?
You remember how some of Sir Wade's guardians took up residence here after the Akashic attacked? Well, now the rest have come to join him. Seems their barracks in the Lazarus have been lost to an ether flood. Now, I don't mind having a few more brave boys around to keep them animals at bay. I ain't daft
The
after
scholar can
all.
wait for us.
But we ain't got nowhere for them to bed down. Poor buggers are having to make do with haylofts and chocobo pens. I'd build them a new barracks here if I could. But where would I put them? There just ain't enough room up here on the rock. Which leaves us in a bit of a pickle. The people we're counting on to keep us safe are living like beggars.
I see.
And it isn't just that lot. There's bears to think about too. There's been more and more of them turning up lately, coming from all over looking for safe haven. But there's only so many we can shelter with the room we've got. We can't keep cramming more and more people into less and less space. What we need is a new home for our new arrivals. And that's what I was hoping you might help me with. If it ain't too much of a burden, of course.
It's no burden.
Wow, this Goblin Prince really don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. So, where were you thinking of making this new home?
Well, I reckon we could do a lot worse than Eastpool.
Eastpool. It's been a long time since I thought about that place.
It was a tragedy, what happened.
Yeah, sure,
If
Goblin
any of us
Punch,
could have
idiot.
done anything to stop it, we would have. But
God,
what's
which
done
destroyed
is
Rosaria
done.
Village was
And
Eastpool?
those who lived there wouldn't have wanted the village they loved to be left in ruins.
It was,
I suppose you're right.
The
I don't
blight
fucking
might
remember.
be pressing in, but I reckon it's got a good few years left in it yet. There's just one problem. A band of cutthroats have made it their den, and they don't seem like they'll be moving on in a hurry. Nasty bastards they are too. I've lost some good men to their raids. Would have sent someone to clear 'em out sooner if my boys didn't already have their hands full fending off the Akashic. But now we've got a few more Guardians of the Flame to call on. I reckon it's time we made our move. What do you say? Fancy leading a raiding party?
I do. Eastpool was once home to people I loved.
Oh, it was
I would
where
have bandits sully those
Hannah
memories.
was, Murdoch's wife.
I'll gladly drive them
Oh,
out
yeah,
of
yeah,
there.
yeah. Yep,
And I
that's the
know
one.
the men will gladly follow you. I've already shared a few thoughts with Sir Wade about how we might be able to win the place back. And I
Okay,
dare
I'm
say
paying
he's got some
attention again.
ideas
And
of his own too.
why is
Why don't you go and
Joshua?
talk to him?
Of course.
Now,
Because there was a reunion and he's out of the infirmary, so he's just in the party now for a bit.
Yep.
Back to Eastpool, then.
It's back together.
Not just yet. Let's hear Wade's plan first.
Wait, I'm supposed to talk to the butler as well.
He's up top.
Ah, yeah.
My lord Marquis, it is you. Then you received my letter. I am Sebastian Rutherford, chief steward
Oh, of course, the
your Lord
butler's name is
Uncle's
Sebastian.
Of course. We met once
Sebastian
before.
Rutherford.
Yes, my lord.
What a
Thank you
what a
for
terrible
coming.
name.
And what was so sensitive that you couldn't put it in writing?
1,000 apologies, my lord. I did not mean to offend. I merely...
It's all right. Continue.
I am here at Martha's Rest, at the behest of your Lord Uncle, tasked with learning what I am able of the realm's current state of affairs.
I really like
And
that
what I have
goblin
learned
quest.
is grim.
It's
If all of the
somewhat
mother
undercut by the
crystals has left
next
Storm
side
in a
quest
state
fight
of
you are,
utter
I think,
disarray.
about to do.
The subsequent darkening of the heavens has only made things worse. Akashic attacks, once unthinkable, are now commonplace.
Well,
The
now we get to
gears
go
of governance
examine
have
some
ground
ruins.
to a halt, and without a steady hand on the tiller, the realm threatens to drift into utter chaos. Your Lord Uncle, however, believes there is a way to avoid this fate, and
Oh, hey.
is determined
Thank you, Scholar.
to see it set in motion.
Yeah,
That
it's
sounds
such a
like
shame. Like,
quite the
I feel like
undertaking.
this was just a little
It is.
quest flow
Hence my
check.
having enlisted
could have been
the aid
avoided.
of several colleagues serving the 7 high houses. Alas, I have lost contact with 2 of those colleagues already. They are both able-bodied and trained in the sword, yet in these dark times even that may not prove sufficient. to keep a man safe on the road.
So you want me to find them? I'll need to know where they went.
Across the road and get some Pringles.
One I sent to investigate the Republic. The other, the old imperial capital of Oriflamme.
We had some Pringles, but I only had some of the salt and vinegar, and then they vanished.
I'll start in Dalamil and work my way
Last
east.
time I was over at the shop, they had the small pots.
I shall pray for your success and safety.
The other thing that I didn't get to have any of was barbecue, and I was craving some, and I went and looked, and it was like, oh nope, it's gone.
Barbecue ones are so good. Right, Wade, what do you want me to do?
So Wade, it's good to see you well.
And you, Lord Rosfield. And you.
I spoke with Martha. She tells me you have plans to free Eastpool and make it your own.
That's right, though it was mostly her idea. I rather fear my men have been treading on her toes somewhat since joining us, not to mention each other's. And then there are the bearers, men
This
and
scholar
women who
needs
found
to
the
chill.
courage to flee their masters and sought refuge here.
It's better than escort
We need
quests.
somewhere to settle.
Yeah.
And I can think of worse
Yeah,
places.
escort
Funnier,
quests
too.
suck in
As
this
can I.
game.
Which is why I agreed to help you win it back.
That's very kind of you. I'd be most grateful if you would.
Objectively funnier to walk up the path and see him on top of a rock, hiding from goblins like he's a cat who got on top of something he doesn't know how to
Thankfully,
get
there
down
aren't
from.
many of them. Fewer than a dozen at our last count. And rather less, thankfully. The road that leads there will more than likely still be crawling with Akashic.
Robots.
A small force would suffice to clear the village. But if the Akashic were to follow them in, that force could end up trapped between a rock and a very hard place indeed.
I'll head into Eastpool and deal with the bandits. You and the Guardians can stay outside the village and fend off any Akashic who come too close. Make sure I'm not taken unawares.
I can't ask you to bear all that risk yourself, my lord.
The Akashic are the bigger risk. I can handle a few bandits.
Well,
Anyway.
if you're sure, I shall summon my men at once.
Shall I wait for you here?
No need, my lord. You go on ahead. We'll be with you before long.
All right. I'll meet you at Eastpool then.
We shall see you there. And may victory await our coming.
Oh, there's a teleport right at Eastpool. Good stuff.
Who the hell are you? Kill them!
You will leave this place or face the consequences.
Okay.
That was straightforward.
That's the end of that then.
Or
maybe not.
Why is there a news?
What's that thing doing here?
It's called Two Scoops.
It goes to.
Carry the slime.
Good.
If only I could do that on stream.
Haha, you wish.
more surprises? I'll take that as a no.
Bravo. A magnificent display, my lord.
You were watching? I thought you were keeping an eye out for a Kashik.
We were. Put down more than a few on the road, then arrived just in time to see you slay that... whatever it was.
Let's hope it was the last of its kind. Though I expect you and the Guardians will be up to the challenge should another appear.
I would hope so, my lord.
Your men will be bringing the bearers who'll be living here, I assume. It might be best to send word for them to come right away. Before any other unsavory characters move in.
Of course. I'll send orders for them to depart immediately. Leave it with me, my lord.
En je zakt ik vette...
Sometime later.
Home. Without masters.
No. We're the masters now. Our lives are our own at last.
That's all of them. And not a single Akashek in sight. Now to begin the important work of rebuilding the place. It won't be easy. Especially not after 5 years of beasts and blackguards having their wicked way with the place.
God, has
the
it
masonry
really
might still be
been
sturdy enough, but half the beams are rotted. Those that weren't
5
lost in the
years
fire or
since-
burned by the bandits, that is.
What happened here?
It'll take a bit of elbow grease. But we'll see
5
East
years
Pool
since
rise again. Just you
Sid
wait.
died.
So wait.
Yeah.
Lady Hannah is buried here. If you don't mind, I'd like Oscar to join the rebuilding efforts. He should be a part of this.
Also,
of course. I couldn't
Wade
agree
just
more.
pronounced blackguard.
Let Martha know
Blackguard.
that everyone arrived safely.
Yeah.
If
new
you
one
need
on
anything
there.
more, you have only to send
That's
us
not.
orders.
And we will, my lord. Safe travels.
Eastpool lives again.
Let's go and tell Martha the good news.
I like side quests in Rosaria. There are more teleport stones.
Oh, bugger.
You're right.
Juniper has a new model coming.
There you are.
Of course she does. When doesn't she?
So Wade told me you got rid of the bandits while his lot kept
Woman does
an eye
not know
out.
how to stop.
Nicely done.
The entirety of Columbo is on the Internet Archive.
Shifting nightmare showing up.
Nice.
On
The entirety of
thoughts,
Columbo.
Don't tell me.
Right, that wasn't irrelevant to anything. It was just a complete
No,
non-sequitur.
it wasn't.
Actresses,
Okay, good.
You did it. And now
There's
we
apparently
can build our
69
new
episodes.
village.
Nice.
I suppose it will be. What will you call it?
No, that just got posted in proxy
else?
server and I went,
Eastpool.
oh, I
So
want to
Wade
share.
said it best. There's
It
plenty
is
bad happens
so
to that
funny
place,
how Columbo
but
has
that don't undo
become a
the
part
good
of
that happened there.
online
No need
gay
to throw the baby
culture.
out with the bathwater.
Why you say that?
And meme culture.
Something along those lines. Anyway, the poor souls might have made it to Eastpool, but their work ain't done yet. So the way
That
I
reminds
see
me,
it,
I think I've mentioned
neither
this
is
at some
mine.
point, but I have
If it's food or
the complete
lumber
collection of
or
Furuhata
strong
Ninja
backs they
Burial,
need, the
which
rest
is
ready to provide it.
pitched as Japanese Columbo a lot. I've been meaning to
Thank
watch it.
you. You didn't have to help us.
Speaking of watching, we haven't done the FMA watch parties in fucking months now. Whoops. We've
We
been
have not.
busy.
Yeah, one way and another.
Should we just start Code Geass?
No. Right. What's the state of side quests in the realm? There are a few others outstanding. I am going to go to the loot and maybe also pop over the road. So I might be a little while.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave the stream running.
Yep.
See you in a moment.